Martin O'Neill, I think he might be worried that he's looking at his department saying, well, there's no great worry here. Rangers are not pulling up any trees in the transfer market. We don't need to, because that has been almost the Celtic approach. We just need to be a little bit better than Rangers. Just good enough to win the title. Whereas the fans, they've voiced their frustration because they're looking for signs of ambition. What did we say? I sat here a week or so ago and was really complimentary at the Celtic board for showing the ambition to go and get Casper, who, on the back of getting Duran, that £17 million, it had taken longer than it should have done to get that business over the line. But it was done, and it was significant numbers. And I said, that's really quite impressive. It's a good sign. It's a great starting point for this Celtic board to try and kind of win back a bit of love from their own supporters. The fact that it's now gone back into, cold storage, the whole transfer machine, since that period, when I really expected that Mika Bauer would be, that should have been that should have taken a few days at that point after the Casper Who deal was completed. Bauer should have been the next in the door. And Hasim Hassan, another one that's been going on for what seems like an eternity. I really thought that before Celtic kicked off against Dundee on Monday night, given that Celtic had shown a little bit of ambition and there had been a bit of urgency about the transfer dealings, I would have thought the way to really kind of cement a better relationship with the supporters would have been to get these two deals done ahead of Dundee, and I think they would have bought themselves, a lot of goodwill and a bit of breathing space, badly needed breathing space.
We're repeating ourselves, but we said it on last night's show. You take out probably Engels, probably Hatate, maybe Johnston. You're looking at a hole in midfield, a right back. A couple of people in Marzuno there saying Duran looked like Bamboo and Ice on the right, which is fair. So you probably need another right winger. I don't know. It just seems like the list is never ending. And one of the comments there from Michael saying there's not even any links with any players. The lack of links is concerning. And okay, they could pull it out the bag and all of a sudden they sign.
That can be good and bad, can't it? That can be good. Look, you've got nosy guys like us who make it our business to kind of rummage about and find out what we can find out. Often, if a club is actually managing to conduct its business nice and quietly and then just delivers a big present to the training ground the next day with a bow on it, and it's completely caught people by surprise, that's good business. The trouble is that I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I can't remember the last time. Well, maybe having said that, Yakoto was one. There was a guy that nobody had really heard of any links with him. But I wonder how far down he was the sort of list of kind of top targets for Rangers. I think it's just one that they've went and they felt it might be quick enough to be able to activate it and get it done. That's not to say he won't prove to be a decent signing. He looks okay. He's certainly got pace, and they're crying out for that. There's a bit of trickery. I think his end product is questionable, but he has scored a few spectacular-looking goals. So, they might want to watch there. Who knows? But that doesn't, to me, feel like the sort of marquee stuff that I'm sure that Derek McInnes is hoping that his recruitment department will provide him with. And I'm sure that Martin O'Neill feels much the same way.
That was the other one. Sorry, last sort of Celtic transfer bit, Keith. But Sirachi is now signed for Houston Dynamo. And we talked on the Record Celtic podcast the other day with Michael Gannon about this, and he's kind of surprised me. He was very much in the opinion that he wouldn't have gone anywhere near Sirachi. He's too injury prone. You can't give him a 2-3 year deal, no chance. To me, it kind of felt like, a guy that's proved he can do it for Celtic, a good player. He's only needed a certain amount of time because Tierney's there. I felt like it was a no-brainer, but maybe I'm wrong. What do you think?
I think a lot of Celtic fans feel that way about Sirachi as well. But I'm going to see your Sirachi and Reggie Alongolo.
Aye.
And I'm going to ask you, from a Celtic perspective, who would you rather? I think if you look at physical profile, if you look at what Longolo adds to the team going forward, potentially, and price, because I think you would be able to do a deal with Motherwell without having to get into the sort of numbers that were involved in Sirachi, even though I don't think, there's nothing about the expense of the Sirachi deal that should have meant that Celtic weren't able to complete it. That's absolutely obvious. And I
Yeah.
think that's what's causing some frustration. But I think you could probably get Longolo for half of that.
That's an interesting point, and if you're watching, let us know your thoughts. Who you go for in that kind of
I
backup
feel as
left
if I'm
back?
banging Big Longolo's drum a little bit, but
You getting a
but
commission?
you know, but it just, do you know, it just hit home when I was watching Motherwell again. And I told you how much I enjoyed watching him at Hibs the other day, and every time I've seen him, I just thought,
Aye.
there's a real player there. There's a
No, I
real
agree.
talent.
I agree.
I'm surprised.
Aye, me too. The other transfer news regarding Celtic, Keith, was Nick Pope has been linked, the Newcastle United goalkeeper, who I believe is out of contract this summer. I think it's a lot of it's social media rumours. Don't know how much truth there is in it. But if they were to get that deal done, I do think Pope number one would do quite well in the club shop. I don't know what you think.
I don't know what you're getting at there, Dan. Look, if you're looking again about profiles, you know, Celtic have done it. With Joe Hart, Casper Schmeichel, they have actually, you know, that is one position where okay, it didn't end particularly terrifically well for Casper Schmeichel with injuries and the way things went on last season. Sinisalo's taken over, looks decent. But that has been the last two is go down to England, get a big name keeper. Rangers did it with Jack Butland, big name keeper that's maybe just not, his career isn't just continuing on an upward trajectory. It's stalled a little bit. Nick Pope would come into that category. I think he'd command quite a hefty wage. And I do think that his reputation down south, he's not in the completely veteran years yet, is he? So
34.
well, then maybe that is exactly the sort of profile that Celtic will be looking at, because it fits. It fits with what they've done previously. And
He's
as you
got
said, shirt sales will be good.
10 England caps as well, and a lot of people in the comments right away. Ian, one of them, saying Pope, he's very good with crosses, so that's good. But in a more serious point, Mizuno is one of a few people saying Sinisalo got away with absolute clangers during the madness of last season, potentially a disaster goalie. I think that's a bit harsh on Sinisalo, but I would say that Celtic really badly. Another area that they need to invest in, goalkeeper big
Well,
time.
Sinisalo is at the club, and he's ambitious, and he always believed that he should be challenging and wanting. That was always his long-term ambition, was to become first choice. I'm a little bit with Mizuno. I'm not sure. I think that's a position in the team that could be improved, with Sinisalo then becoming challenger again for the number one position. But yeah, Nick Pope. So uh, can imagine that will get a reaction.